I was still like into the idea of using my sexuality to for my benefit and putting value on my sexuality and putting value on my body and using it to my advantage. So I then talked to a friend. This was like several years, like, I don't know, a couple years ago. Talked to a friend and she was like, you should get a sugar daddy. And I was like, oh my God, because, a lot of my like webcam clients wanted to meet me and I was so freaked out by that idea. I was like, there's no way I could like ever
break down this fourth wall. Yeah.
It's like or like there's no way I could ever have sex with like one of these dudes that are like giving me money for like, enjoying like watching. Yeah. So I was like, there's no way.
And Nick does it a lot. A producer actually.
That's false.
He seems like somebody that does then. Sorry.
Cool. That's fair.
That's cool if you do it anyway. I mean, like, sometimes I even to this day like to go on and like look at the girls and I'll like load some money and like give them tips and stuff because I think it's super fun.
Yeah. And so then there was that moment where you talked to another girl. She had a sugar daddy and she said, you've got to.
Yeah, maybe try this. And I was like, okay. But she was like, don't do what I did. She's like, I did really dangerous things. I would just like, get on a plane and fly. She said she like flew to Jamaica once and like without really knowing that like the guy was going to be super safe or whatever. There was really no like screening practices like what I do now. But so I did that. And what I figured out was sugar daddies are extremely cheap and manipulative. And like, it's just, I don't know if you're listening and you have a sugar daddy, they're probably a blacklisted escort client because they're just they'll be really flashy with their money and like I have all of this stuff, but they will be super cheap about like giving you more than it was just I wasn't getting what I
like. You mean Jewish or what are you talking about?
Cheap, just I had one for like my very first one I had for like 7 months and he was just like, you don't want to be a I don't really want to say, the HOOKER word because I hate that word, but he's like, you don't want to do that. And
the hooker.
Yeah. He's like, you don't want to do that. That's dirty. That's disgusting. He was like,
but then he was still paying you to do it.
He was paying me. I got away with like, I mean, he was not an attractive human whatsoever. And he just had a shitty personality. And I got away with like, out of 7 months, I think I only slept with him like 5 times. So I was able to like get, but he wouldn't give me enough for me to like save and and I still had like a vanilla like regular job at the same time too.
And do you feel then so the sugar daddy thing? I have a friend that goes on a lot of those sites and has dates with the girls from
seeking arrangements.
Yes, all the time, right?
Yeah,
all the time. I mean, literally 4 nights a week, and it's kind of. I love the guy. It's a little gross sometimes the way it's almost like shopping or something for him in a way, which isn't bad. I mean, I think he kind of just wants company,
Right.
But it seems like for some people it can get, it doesn't seem like there's any benefit for the women sometimes. That's what it doesn't seem like.
There's very blurred boundaries and you have like... There's so many girls on there and the guys are like, oh, well, I can get this much for 200.
Right.
Girls are doing things for way less money than I would do at this point. And they were like, I was like, yeah, I do sugar baby stuff. And I don't know, I'm kind of a little afraid to like go full into professional escorting. And they're like, oh my God, it's so much better. Like, it's good to have the boundaries, the time limits, everything. And I'm like, yeah, that does sound like it would be like better for me mentally because these issues that I was having with the sugar daddies with the no boundaries and the manipulation and like just it was all bad. It was really dark. It was a dark period of my life. So
because the men have all the power.
Yeah, they do. And I mean I feel so badly for the girls there's a ton of them. I feel so badly for the ones that participate on that. So many. And because I think this like sugar baby lifestyle is like really like inflated on social media.
It's glorified on Instagram.
So
like,
glorified.
I'm on this jet. I'm on this.
Yeah.
And you never see any of the old dudes in the background. You never see any. You just never realize what's really going on.
Yeah.
But there must be something empowering about that. But you're saying it sounds like for you it turned more like in a business.
Well, no, the guys are just honestly those guys are just fucking shitty. They're just users.
Yeah.
They want to get as much as they can for as little as possible.
My buddy that does it, honestly, that's exactly how he is.
Yeah, that's why they're, and I think honestly, a lot of them are blacklisted clients because, escorts stick to their fucking boundaries.
Right.
We're like, no, I will not sue you for less than my rate.
Right.
Sorry, move along. Don't go sugaring just because you are, seeing the fantasy of it on Instagram. Like you have especially nothing was more shady than when I was sugaring. That shit was shady as fuck.
Yeah.
There was not good things happening. That has not happened while I've been an escort.
So did you feel like, obviously with sugaring, it's a lot of guys, they get on these sites, there's no exact terms a lot of times. I've never been involved in this, but I hear about it firsthand all the time from a friend of mine.
Right.
And a friend who I would never let date a sister of mine or even let her be around him probably for the weekend. But also who is still a buddy and I love him. He's a funny guy. Like, I can separate that for me as his friend. But yeah, he gets on these things. He tells he'll take them out to somewhere nice. They go to somewhere nice. And then there's never any like payment or compensation. A lot of them, it seems like, feel like they need to have sex in order to keep the guy around. And then the guy never calls them again.
Yep. That's my experience with sugaring. I went to nice dinners and stuff. And then it was like this like taboo to even talk about like, oh, how much money am I going to get? And like, they would almost make you feel bad for even there was just no clear boundaries. There was no...
Right, and that gives you nothing as the...
It was just I did get money. I was able to have somewhat of a little savings built up from that, but it was very laborious. It was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
And what type of girls get, like, where's there a moment for girls where they think about getting a sugaring where they can, what could they do at a certain moment to do something else and not get into any of it?
Not get involved with any sex work. Like nothing online, nothing. I mean, I don't know. I guess sex work is the same as any work. Like, I mean, minimum wage retail, I guess. Like, I think that's like, I worked retail too. Like, I think that's the kind of pit you fall into, either retail or even like serving at a restaurant or whatever. Or, I mean, go to school. I don't know. Like,
yeah,
I guess.
I fucking worked at a Hot Topic for a while, dude. I actually got electrocuted once at a Hot Topic. I fell into a box of fucking Beavis and Butthead lamps and fucking got electrocuted. Well, thanks for watching that video right there. That was a beautiful little segment, I think. But of course, I'm partisan to myself. But you can move on to another video right now. You could check on this video or on this video. That's two different options. And you can also subscribe to the channel. Check on a new video. Subscribe to the channel. Check, subscribe, check, subscribe.